everyone, and welcome.
All right, guys.
Bungie HQ in
Let's pause this guy real quick. So, what's going on, YouTube? Year One Blink here, back with another new video. Today, we're going to be reacting to the brand new Into the Light developer live stream. So, let's get it.
Members of the Destiny development team, who we'll go ahead and introduce here right away. Starting directly to my left, Mr. Tom Farnsworth. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you, Andy. I am doing great. I had coffee, breakfast on the way here. I'm a little ready to go. Excited to share all the great work the team has done the past many months. And just for context about me, I'm the creative lead Into the Light, and I'll be here with you the next few weeks to talk about it.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff in store.
So he's the leader of Into the Light, guys.
By senior
Creative lead.
designer, Mr. Jerome Viernich. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Also had coffee.
Nice.
On the highway while screaming at
this guy's
mustache.
mustache.
As well. And for the folks at home who may not know you as well as we've had the opportunity to learn about you over the past couple days, who are you and what do you do here at Bungie?
I am a senior narrative designer, which means if you hear a character say it, or if you read it on screen, one of us typed it into a tiny little box at some point, months before.
Hanging out with Excel lots these days?
Absolutely.
There it is.
Tiny words, tiny boxes. That's me.
It's an important tool, obviously.
Absolutely.
And, of course, last but very not least, one of the most deadly I've ever seen to rock the thumbsticks, especially in these past couple days, the one and only Mr. Noah Lee, activity designer here on Destiny 2.
Hey, everyone. My name is Noah Lee. I'm an activity designer on Destiny 2, Into the Light. And I have the distinct pleasure of introducing us to Onslaught so we can see all the really cool things that we have in store. I'm a long-time player. I've been playing since Destiny 1, and as a player turned dev, I'm excited to show off all the stuff we have planned. I'm just so excited to see what's
awesome. Well, hey, welcome. You guys, thank you so much for taking time to join us. To everyone in chat, I see a lot of activity in there as well. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us today as well. But yes, today
you see
we're
a lot of activity, right?
Off by looking at Onslaught, which is a brand new activity coming in Destiny 2 Into the Light. For those of you out there that are Twit enjoyers that have had a chance to go ahead and see what we've been posting the last week, we went ahead and released some key art last week that is now up on screen. You can see here. There's a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and just start.
Tower defense. Let's defend the city.
What Onslaught is.
Yeah, so Onslaught is a new three-player activity that's kind of the core of Into the Light. It's available to all players.
Yeah.
And
Onslaught
kind of see,
activity.
And this key art, like this is a kind of aspirational view of what Onslaught is in game.
Yeah.
It's a new wave defense activity. It takes
Wave
inspiration
defense, like
from,
Halo
a lot
Reach,
of
kind of.
modes we've looked at like in other games and our games.
Yeah.
Throughout our kind of history, and you can see here you're in the last city. Yeah. And I'm really excited that our players are going to be able to, like, the Guardians are going to be able to hop into this space. And,
oh, it's like a new space, huh?
City and eventually take the fight to the Witnesses' forces here. And you can kind of see, you got our three Guardians. They're kind of ringed in defenses.
Yeah.
You also got like the pyramids in the sky.
Right. Yeah.
And there's even some like kind of pyramid terraforming going on in the background
in
there.
the city itself too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are at our
city.
doorstep.
There's a few other locations too, but maybe we'll talk about later.
Talk about that later.
Yeah.
So
there's a
also
few other
Jerome,
locations. What?
This is not the first time obviously we've ever had to go ahead and defend ourselves on our own turf, but never quite like this before. Our heels are dug in. We're in the last city right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on here?
Absolutely. So for the past several seasons, the forces of the Witness have been closing their vice grip around the Soul system. The Witness is inside the Traveler doing nefarious deeds, enacting the final shape.
Right.
Time is on its side.
Yeah.
We have worked with ancient magics, esoteric rituals, bargaining with our old foes in order to send someone through the portal and establish a bridge, and we chose Crow.
Yeah.
Now, until he makes contact with us, we are back at home sharpening our knives.
Yeah.
I
Now,
see.
the Witness, of course, will do everything that it can to keep us on this side of the portal.
Understand.
Which means unleashing every bit of
So
its
the Witness
resources,
does not want us to
every,
go inside the portal.
part of its power against us to keep us pinned in the last city. So this is about breaking out and discovering new power.
Getting ready to go
sharpening
inside the portal.
ourselves, finalizing our builds and getting some new toys so that we can face down the Witness.
That's right. And we're also getting some help from a tried and true sharpener of Guardians as well. Shax is going to be helping us out as well, right?
Absolutely. Where some see calamity, Shax sees opportunity.
Yeah.
And he is going to be opening up his arsenal for us to enjoy. I think we'll hear about that next week, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he'll be your vendor, and I'm really excited for players to hear from him.
Awesome. As someone who spent a lot of time in the Crucible, it's always good to spend more time with Shax. Inspirational, to say the least.
Absolutely. At high volume.
Yeah, honestly.
What happened? Am I lagging?
goal is to defend the ADU
Sorry
areas
about that,
defense
guys.
unit, which allows us to build our defenses like turrets, tripwires, decoys, and the main goal is to make sure that that thing stays up for all of your waves that you're fighting in.
Yeah.
And if that goes down at any point, regardless if you're on playlist, normal, or on legend difficulty, your game will end. So the main goal is to keep your defenses safe, build them up, upgrade them, and try to get as far as you can.
Yeah, legend difficulty. Interesting. Already dropping some hints. I like what I'm hearing.
You know, I had to do it. And another thing, just really quickly, we had a lot of learnings from some of our activities in the seasons, like deep dives and the coil, where we know players like when we escalate difficulty over time.
Yeah.
So that's a key feature of Onslaught. You go from wave 1 to wave 50, each 10 escalating in difficulty, as we're going to see in gameplay. And that serves a really cool opportunity for players to test their builds and, you know,
see what's
the waves of
powerful
enemies that
and
we're fighting
stuff.
against are the whetstone by which we're sharpening ourselves.
Excellent. Yes, build crafters, you're on notice. Be prepared for what's to come. All right. Well, I say there's no time like the present. We are seeing a lot of requests in chat for gameplay. I think we can go ahead and dive on in.
The throne world.
Noah, would you
Let's
mind
see the gameplay.
returning to your throne world briefly to go ahead and kick things off here?
My tithes.
Obviously, yeah. We
It's
got to
about
get some tithes
time.
for the man himself. In the meantime, really quickly, obviously, with Onslaught being a brand new activity, we're going to kick things off in a very different way. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see when we go ahead and start things off?
Yeah, you're going to see it in the gameplay here in just a second, but Onslaught is about kind of establishing a defensive kind of like beachhead in these contested territories. We're really trying to, you know, claw space back from the witness.
Certainly.
And we're going to see it in Midtown here in a moment. And so players, you know, start off with you and two other maybe friends you found that you play with all the time, or maybe you matchmake you in with, and you're going to push forwards with Shax's Red Jacks that you're going to see here. You'll establish a defensive area. You'll deploy the advanced defense unit, and you'll start placing defenses.
Yeah.
As Noah said, there's turrets, there's trip mines, there's decoys. The decoys is our favorite little sweepy
That's
bot.
right. Yep.
And
Back to help once again.
and you can upgrade those too. Like the way the activity works is you defeat enemies to collect scrap, which is our currency, and then you can spend that to deploy these defenses. And you're gonna have to be kind of selective. Like each of these defensive locations can move around throughout the activity.
Right. Yeah.
And here we go.
Awesome.
We already got some
gameplay
action
already
here.
Yes.
All right, here it is,
We are
guys. The
over here
gameplay.
Trying to create a foothold for our ADU, supported by Shax's
So you got
lovely
these
Red
little
Jacks. Noah
sweeper
loved them.
bots shooting
So,
people
since
too
we
now.
cleared out the elixni that are here, or the fallen. Our
Capture
ADU is
these
here. As we
zones.
see, we got some batteries in tow, and this begins our first
Is
really
that-
interesting part
is that
of this
Midtown?
activity, which is our purchase phase. Killing enemies will grant you scrap, like we see in the top left, and we have 30 seconds to pick.
Bro,
one
that's
of the suite
Midtown.
of upgrades. We have tripwires that you can buy for 1,000. Decoy, which is our lovely sweeper bot here, and turrets. I know people are very curious about turrets, so I'm just going to buy this first.
There we go.
But we have our lovely guests, Clayton and Ashley, who have helped create this activity in our playtest team. They're with me helping fill out the fire team, and they're building their defenses.
It's always best to have some solid teammates, and also to for the folks in chat noticing some weapons, go ahead and just go ahead and observe everything you can possibly see on screen. Oh, it's okay. We're gonna have plenty of time to dig through those inventory screens, but in the meantime, chat is connecting some dots with the things they may have seen in the key art, but also too. So, Jerome, we're here obviously going ahead and doing this for a reason, right? The ADU is here for a purpose. Can you help us?
So it's gonna
understand
be
a little bit
inside
about the
Midtown
role that
only?
plays in the defense that we're
Do we get to go
mounting
to
against the
any
witness?
other places?
Absolutely. When all of the Guardians and their allies enter the portal to face down the witness, Earth will be essentially undefended.
Yeah.
So it's important that we establish solid defenses now and claw back as much territory as we can in advance of our assault. I also want to just point out, I know we're not going to be able to look at it, and we'll see the weapons next week, but we've got some beautiful new lore on those weapons, and so any of those lore hounds, make sure you check out those tabs.
Yeah, it's
Really
we will be only maybe looking at whatever happens to show up in the stream today, but yes, this is the Brave Arsenal, as it will be known. Players will get a chance to go ahead and be more intrinsically involved with this. We'll have more information on that in the coming weeks, but for those out there that are observing maybe some previous Guardian favorite weapons out there, worry not. You still have lots of
Midtown,
information
bro.
to learn over the
Looks
next
kind of
couple
cool
weeks.
like
I
that,
want
though.
to kind of get started on kind of what players have been seeing since we've been talking about.
Please,
activity as a whole. As we're able to see, like, the ADU has a health over its head right here, and we have enemies in waves coming to try to defeat it. If you've been paying attention, we have high-value targets that are mini-bosses or elites called saboteurs, which drop these repair batteries. And for other attempted players, we can see that there are champions involved. So, bring your champion weapons. Make sure that you are well equipped for this. We have different waves and different augments like we're seeing on wave 3 that demand your immediate attention.
Yep.
We know Destiny players like to run and gun, so we try to get you out of the space of the ADU sometimes, so that you can kind of do those objectives to make sure that, oh yeah, I can explore Midtown and all these other spaces when we have the other maps that you see.
Yeah, Crucible enjoyers know this space pretty well. It'll be a chance for everyone to go ahead and check it out. But also, too, actually, no, thank you, Noah, for checking that out. Obviously, the pyramids have been busy in here helping to go ahead and mount this offensive.
Yeah, I think we have an eye for decoration.
Yeah, honestly, they're doing a great job. I got to give them credit. They keep it consistent. But Jerome, these are pyramid ships in our own backyard that are going to go ahead and just try and terraform the city. Or can you help us learn what's going on here?
Well, they don't have to do anything. I mean, the Witness is doing what it wants to do, and if we don't stop it, then it's game over.
Yeah.
So they really just need to keep us pinned. The Witness is inevitable. There's no way we could defeat every one of the Witness's soldiers.
Right.
There's no way we could, fight them one by one.
We'll try.
We have to deal with the Witness head on.
Yeah.
Inside the Traveler.
Yeah.
And we'll do that soon.
So also, too, obviously getting to go ahead and send players away from the ADU is pretty significant when it comes to accomplishing all of the tasks in front of you here in Onslaught. But, Tom, can you tell us a little bit about the defenses as well? Like, I think we see some trip mines up already set and ready to go.
Yeah, you can see the horizontal beams. Those are trip mines. As you upgrade them, the colors will change. You'll be able to do more damage and kind of fire off more
Trip mines get more
charges.
charges.
Yep.
And they get more in size. You upgrade it.
Man, I thought we were gonna get new areas.
As we see here, which is really nice. Keep going.
And then we've also got the turrets. If you could show off a turret in a second.
Oh yeah.
Those as well. When you can upgrade
That
those
gun's kinda
three
OP,
levels as
that
well,
crossbow.
They change color. They deal more damage. They get more health.
Yeah.
The fire rate increases actually also.
Yep. And then we've also got Sweepy Bot, who also those decoys mostly just gain health and change color a little bit. But the idea here is like each of these defensive locations, we're going to kind of randomly pick defenses for you to deploy, and it's up to you kind of to make the best choices and use your limited resources, the scrap that you're collecting, to make the best choices there, because you're not going to have all the currency you need.
Is that the midnight coup?
Deploy everything and upgrade everything. You're going to have to be like, no, we want this turret, or maybe it seems like enemies are coming more from this direction. Maybe we should have these trip mines.
Right, yeah. Let's focus our attention and abilities maybe in a different direction. Let the trip mines and turrets do some work in a different direction.
Yeah. Something I want to bring up is we actually have a bonus objective going on right now. We have secondary objectives that occasionally appear in waves, and this one is just to complete the wave within a certain amount of time. And if you complete that while you're defending the ADU, you got to make sure that's alive. You'll actually get a reward, which is a heavy ammo crate that will refill your ammo. When you get higher up in the waves and you get more difficult enemies and like larger waves of stuff, like that is definitely something you're going to be trying to get.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into the team coordination you can do. Like if you have a good team in the higher difficulties, you're going to need a little bit more coordination. You might need somebody to go out and do the augments and somebody to go out and do the critical objectives.
Yeah, and also too, so just to make sure, Tom, as well, this isn't the only ADU we're going to be defending in this activity. It moves around the map.
So, as Noah said earlier, there's 50 waves in our challenge version of this activity.
Okay.
There's a playlist version, which
You
is
teleport? Where do you
location.
teleport?
It's
Oh.
easy, quick, fun to hop into. You do 10 waves and you're done. And then there's the challenge version, which we're showing here. So there's 50 waves or 5 sets.
That's kind of cool. This
waves.
is kind of a new
This
area.
is how we like to talk about it. And with each of those sets of waves, we move around the map between 3 different locations.
Okay, got it.
And so you'll start at one ADU, you'll defend it.
And what's
take the
this all
fight for the
about?
witness for a little bit, you'll come back, and then you'll build up defenses more, and then go fight a boss.
Yeah, which is what we're seeing as well right now. Like we're on board a pyramid ship now, right?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite phases where instead of defending the ADU, we take the fight to them. And as you see, we cultivate a spark of light, and it's time to run it down, destroy the witnesses, lieutenants, and, do a fun backflip. Let's hope I can pull that off.
Do the backflip.
It's important. If you don't do the backflip, chat's going to be very upset. I can already tell.
Very.
Here we go.
Look at that.
Here we go.
Ooh,
You make it look so easy, Noah.
because I'm just good.
He is good. He's doing pretty well. I'm not going to
We're also on the first set of waves. So.
It's gonna get a little spicier later. The first few waves are they're kind of like the training wheels.
Right, yeah. Because you were saying too, there's a 10 wave version of this and a 50. Was
Yes,
it?
there's a 10-wave version
That's
called
right.
Onslaught Playlist.
Okay.
If you're in for you want to be in for a short session, I think that's definitely the place for you. Onslaught, in our experience from playtesting, is really easy to lose track of time and just kind of keep going. You can always be like, just one more wave, a few more sets, and then you're like, dang, it's been an hour. Like, it's actually crazy.
Noah, I got a question, if you don't mind. How do you decide whether to unlock new defenses or upgrade the ones you've already got?
So it really is a risk-reward thing. As we're seeing, like, when you upgrade defenses, they will exponentially increase in price, which means that you have to make a decision every purchase phase. Like, do I want to save my money to potentially upgrade something down the line and also hope that that defense, lives long enough to be upgraded? Or am I just going to bite the bullet and buy something now that can help me immediately? My strategy usually is that in the first few waves, I will not buy anything to just save up for later, and usually my teammates will do something.
Yeah.
That's where communication comes in. If you just do that by yourself, I don't think your teammates will be very happy with you.
It's fair. As always, keeping the comms crisp is very important, especially to get those higher difficulty levels. Because we're just in the kind of the fledgling waves of this right now. But when we were doing our playtest yesterday, things got crazy in a hurry. I hope we get to see some more of the craziness we saw yesterday, but I don't want to spoil anything for chat. Obviously, there's plenty to be discovered in this.
Something I neglected to mention, which we've been doing this whole time, is the ADU batteries will actually heal it, kind of similar to Forges in the Black Armory from my real vets out there. And the ADU, the enemies are naturally compelled to come over here and attack it. They'll shoot it, they'll knife at it. But also, if there's any enemies that stay in the radius of the ADU, you'll see it'll turn red and damage will start to tick. So that's when you need to throw your ADU batteries in there, and you'll get scrap for that. But if your ADU's full on health, you'll actually get 3 times the amount of scrap. So it's in your best interest to try to keep it as healthy as possible, because you might be able to snowball your defenses.
Interesting. So especially if you're really pushing for those later levels in the 40s and 50s, maybe it just behooves you to hold on. For the levels or so, let your abilities and weapons do the talking for a little bit.
50s are no joke.
Pretty cool.
Oh my God.
There we go. We got one of the bigger mobs on the way.
So here's one of our augments. Just demolitionists. We get these huge ultras that come in and just they're beeline for the ADU.
Yeah.
Since we're on the first wave, they're not that difficult, but I promise you, wave 40, wave 50, these guys are tanky. They require a lot of attention. And
give some credit in making it look easy as well.
Like I said, I'm just that guy.
It's been preparing for this moment. Also, too, actually, let's talk a little bit of build crafting. What are you running right now, Noah?
So I'm not treading new ground here. I'm a Night Stalker by heart. I got my Gerfalcons on. We actually, off screen, we're figuring out how it's pronounced. But Gerfalcons, everyone. So anyone who mispronounces it, that's how you say it. Doing that, I love Buried Bloodline. It's a great weapon from Warlord's Ruin. I love the Catalyst. I'm just doing that because we might see some Tormentors. Who knows? And I like precision when we're doing that, because rockets aren't very effective against.
See, over the past day or so, as we've been getting prepared for the stream, I'll admit my jealousy for Buried Bloodline has only been growing. I'm a big fan of Graviton Lance. We get along very well, but I gotta say, the precision that you've been getting out of Buried Bloodline makes me upset that I haven't just gone ahead and buckled down and gotten the farming done to get that thing unlocked, honestly.
Yeah, great. So as we see, we are actually in the pyramid again for the boss. We're taking the fight back to the Witness's forces, and this brings up a really interesting part of all of the boss phases, where instead of having immune shields or immune phases, we have different augmentations that allow you to increase your effectiveness against the boss. So, for example, this one is Augmentation Well. If you stand in these wells and defeat high-value targets, you will actually deal increased damage to the boss for the rest of the fight. That's something, because these are meant to be kind of like victory laps. Like, you've survived against the ADU, it is time to just, you single-mindedly take down the boss.
Yeah. Also, too, actually, really quickly, Tom, so I know we touched on there being 10 and 50 wave versions, but we got a question in chat from Tirkinator. Is it random matchmaking? Do you get to bring your own fire team in? Both?
So playlist is random matchmaking, or you can bring your fire team in.
Yeah.
And then I believe the challenge modes, of which there was a normal version and a hard version, which goes up to GM. I believe that the normal version is match made. We can correct on socials maybe for the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's match made, but I think everything supports fire team fighting.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, obviously. And honestly, too, it never hurts to bring in your own GM crew if you're pushing 50 waves.
No, we definitely want you to communicate. In that activity on the upper end, especially, you're going to have a much better time.
Yeah, honestly. Also, too, actually, while we're kind of on that subject, I remember something you mentioned earlier was, kind of one of the goals, I think, from a design standpoint you were mentioning, was that it's kind of just easy to get lost in this activity. The combat sandbox that Destiny has, sometimes you just want to throw down and just test new builds, go crazy, and this is something that really seems to
I don't know, guys. It looks alright.
Stream here as we're going to go deeper and deeper here. We defeated the first.
It ain't the final shape, I'll tell you that.
We're at a new defensive location you can see here. That's near the river walk and here, and Like, yeah,
We're to break the fourth wall. We're developers, so we were able to change it to our other faction. It's not always going to be Fallen. We have the Hive that were shown prominently in our poster art.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for the more keen eyes at home, they may have noticed that behind the scenes, the faction has changed. So when Jerome mentioned it earlier, every single one of the armies at the Witness's behest is going to go ahead and be a part of this fight potentially.
I see.
Or which ones are they, rather? Or if you don't mind me asking, I should say, Jerome. This is your.
Yeah, we've got Fallen and Hive are going to be pressing the last city, but the Taken are definitely active elsewhere.
Yeah.
They're sort of they're being marshaled for other purposes, which I won't.
Other elements of the seasonal story are yet to be revealed. We'll let that obviously uncover itself.
Hidden content,
there's
guys,
plenty for the lore
that
hounds
they're
out
not
there to go
telling us
discover.
about.
Jerome, when you're putting together a story like this, obviously kind of helping us realize what the Witness's mission is, like what was kind of some of your inspiration as you kind of looked at this activity and the opportunity it presented to the narrative team?
We always start with the characters, like the emotions of the characters, from their perspective, how they would see things, how they would react.
Certainly.
And so that's what made Shaxx a natural fit for this. It's such a gear-focused activity. It's so ferocious. We needed a voice that matched that level of intensity.
Yeah.
And so that's where we came up with Shaxx.
Yeah, Shaxx is like the perfect hype man
Honestly.
for this, right?
It's so great when you get later in the rounds and he just kind of makes you feel like you can keep going.
I mean, that's his goal, right? The Crucible is not a forgiving place, and he's there bringing folks in every single day that he possibly can. So
He's been preparing us for this. That's what the Crucible was for.
No, and that's a great way to look at this. The Crucible is preparing, fighting other Guardians to sharpen ourselves to fight a war. And this is just fighting a war.
Yeah, honestly, this is what we've been sharpening ourselves for. This is that moment. Also, too, kind of in that theme, we got a question from Cozy Spartan in chat. Are there any other weapons that are coming back? As a quick reminder, this is the first of three streams as well. So next week we're gonna be talking about that. So make sure and mark your calendar and tune in then. Today, this is just a taste of Onslaught and kind of a first look at what's to come in the brand new activity. Joining us with Destiny 2 Into the Light.
I'm out of money. I'm broke. No.
All out of scrap already?
Yes. I bought one thing. I spent it all on these two turrets, which have been performing pretty well, actually. I'm a person, I prefer to upgrade a few things because their effectiveness is much more heightened when you upgrade it. So I feel like if you all pool your resources to make a few traps really good, that might serve you well, but who knows? I know when you do legendary and you're in GM, you're really gonna need those defenses to help you out because those enemies are powerful and they are focusing down your ADU unrelentingly.
Yeah. All right, so we've touched on there are 3 different defensive tools at our disposal between the turrets, the trip mines, and obviously the decoy sweet bot. And those are upgradable, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Correct. Cool. How far do those go? Like what level? It'll be 3? Awesome. And as I understand,
Tower defense, guys.
Steep progression as they go ahead and continue leveling up. That scrap really ends up being worth it.
They become more expensive, but yeah, they also it's not like a linear progression. It's more logarithmic. They kind of jump up in power.
Yeah.
But you got to keep them safe too, right? The enemies, you might get an augmentation where one of those.
Yeah, this isn't everything, guys. This is just a game mode that's part of Into the Light. It looks like
Yeah, a brig drop.
they're showing like the main game mode for it,
Yeah, it's been known to happen. Who knows?
Now, in that instance, if one of
I
your
wonder what
defenses
kind of
is
type of loot you
destroyed,
get from this.
do
Probably
you
like
repurchase it at level 1.
Yes,
Yes, you have to
lose that.
repurchase the
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's one of the things you have to watch out for with trip mines. Like I said, they have charges, and they will just, they will go out on their own. But that's why they're so cheap. You're going to have to rebuy them once you run out of charges.
Yeah, and also I think I saw a question in chat. I missed the name, so apologies to whoever asked this. Is scrap individual or is it fire team wide?
So we've got an interesting way of doing it. So the fire team earns scrap together, but you each get to spend individually.
Oh.
So you can't mess up your fire team mates by overspending. You've got your own little stock, your own little wallet, purse of scrap to spend. So you can coordinate if you want, or you could just spend how you see fit to help the team.
Yeah.
In general, anything you purchase is going to help.
Yeah, as someone too, in the past,
they just take Midtown out of the game.
Wave-based defense games. There we go. When it comes to the upgrades, I imagine, like you were saying, it's pretty logarithmic. Is there a feeling of wanting to, instead of getting, 3 level 1 turrets, get 1 level 3 turret, for example? Is that power gain kind of the one you want to be chasing if you're pushing those higher levels?
I think it's definitely valuable to do that as long as you can keep it safe.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, guys, I'm gonna skip to a good part. So let's skip to the good part.
Just sharpening ourselves. the next step pretty much is just to go ahead and hold out for as long as we can in preparation for that next battle, I'm assuming?
Absolutely. We're waiting for Crow to essentially build a bridge in concert with Mara, with help from Osiris and others, and so it's really the universe is on Crow's shoulders.
Yeah.
And
How come it's not on ours?
couldn't imagine anyone better suited for the task.
Diversity of waves, like as we've seen.
This
with
is a different wave,
Beast of
guys.
the Fallen, that
Where
it's
it's
not
just ogres.
You know, fighting acolytes and thralls every time. We have different compositions. So this is a wave full of exclusively ogres and cursed thrall. Cursed thrall are nice because it allows you to chunk the ogres if they're grouped up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're cursed thralls, and as we see, they are just booking it straight toward the ADU.
These ogres seem very dedicated to their task out of the gate, honestly. It seems like within a millisecond, they're just lighting up anything they can possibly see.
Yeah, I think they're really dedicated to the witness, and I think they're also kind of stupid. So they're just doing what they know.
I'm not brave enough to say that to an ogre's face, but I respect you for being able to do so.
That guy just said the ogres are stupid.
There we go.
Tension in two directions.
Yeah, that's the thing that we were really wanting to index on. So for these not critical objectives, for these augments, they kind of incentivize players to leave the ADU and kind of have roles. As we see, we got Splinter Mines, and you have guards that are guarding them. We have Clayton and Ashley doing that for me while I defend the ADU, and that kind of means that you have less people defending. Like the wave is still coming towards you, but there's things you have to do, and those distractions, which aren't really optional, are kind of what gives you that tension and kind of allows for interesting build crafting decisions. Like, that's something I kind of wanted to go into, something that excites me as somebody who's kind of seen how our seasonal meta kind of develops with things like Strand Titan and Solar over and over.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing if interesting things come out of Onslaught. You're not trying to stay alive yourself, you're trying to keep this
Guys,
and what
let's
that
check out
does
the
is that
chat.
calls in turrets that will eventually come and help us out. If we call both of them, they'll all activate, and that serves to kind of get some heat off of you.
Yeah.
And just overall kind of help. These are level 3 turrets. You see them in blue. They're looking really nice and spiffy.
Yeah. And again, you were saying at level 3, the fire rate also increases?
Yeah, fire rate, health, and damage increases for them. But
Another
they cost
boss with
6,000
no
scraps,
health.
so you're going to need to save up a lot.
Okay.
I think it's 12,000
Bro, these
scrap
guys are
altogether for
cooking
going
Destiny
from level 1.
2 right
Can you just
now.
roll that leftover Shrieker Eye into some enemies, maybe just for the... Oh, it fell off.
Where'd it
Never
go?
mind. All right. Go full? Yep. No.
The void calls.
Boring.
All right, so what level are we on now?
I'm reading the
it's
comments.
going well,
It
honestly.
does look kind of boring, guys.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
will
gonna
say,
lie.
especially after yesterday, we learned that Noah is one of the most dangerous to ever wield the 2 thumbsticks out there. To all the PvP streamers as well, go ahead and challenge him openly on the internet.
Hey, I go
Now's the
flawless.
time.
I'm just gonna
check
play
my KD.
PvP
Yeah,
still.
that's right.
I thought you were the gilded one.
I don't want to brag, but as a 4-time gilded flawless,
Probably do this, a
I mean,
couple
I'll let you guys
times.
brag for that.
Hey, I'm a brag
What kind
too.
of loot do you
I
guys
got
get?
Ribbons Bane back in Forsaken. Petrol's run, that was tough. All my Ribbons Banes out there, we know what's up.
Oh.
And Shadows. Y'all got it.
There's a chapter of everyone's dream journal dedicated to that particular time in their lives, obviously.
Cronus Zen. Did
Drop
you
the
guys see
Bungie ID,
that?
they're saying.
Okay.
Perhaps I'll leave that up to him. That is his...
Oh, I can do it. No, I'll do it. Check my
What
raid
the
report. Check my dungeon. Hey, I'm there, bro.
Noah is ready, honestly. He's prepared for this moment. Let's see here.
So new ADU, new location.
Yep. Yes. Well, that's something I neglected to mention. So every time you do a boss, you will actually change locations. And let me just buy something real quick so I have money. But the defenses you pick, that you placed before in your previous locations, those will still be active. So that means that you building up your defenses over time, you obviously can't upgrade these since they're not at the location you're on, but they will help you when the waves get harder. So you having a level 3 turret or level 3 decoy somewhere, that will actually help you out, and you'll be able to take aggro from the waves. Like we see, hey, the turret right there doing damage to the knights. That it all kind of helps that feeling of feeling like you're the vanguard and the last city, like you're helping to defend them. These emplacements are
I'm
permanent
reading
and
all
not
the
just temporary.
The comments are honestly
really
more
digging the
interesting right now,
trenches and
guys.
setting yourself in. Okay, again, we'll put that on the list of things that chat didn't see. We get a veto. That's the one that everyone gets to forget. Sorry, chat, but that didn't just happen.
Everyone makes mistakes, man.
Also, too, actually, J.R. Bizzle in chat asks, are the rewards going to be tied to the wave you get to? Now, I don't...
And then
Every
in
10 waves, guys, you get a
the challenge
chest.
Mode, there's a normal and the hard version of those. In the normal hard mode,
Yeah.
you get additional rewards in all the waves.
Excellent. Okay.
And so there's some little surprises there too. We might have along the way that at the end as well, just if you're lucky.
Excellent. Yeah, for the ones that are really going to go ahead and try it a few times out, maybe there's an additional variable thrown in there from time to time. Excellent. Yeah. Also,
Nice.
too, actually,
Tormentor.
The way revives work
You
is
guys, we got
in
exclusive
the,
Tormentor gameplay right
the
here.
first 2 sets,
Yeah.
darkness is off. But when we get to the 3rd set, we turn darkness on.
And
So
extinguish.
if you all go down, or the ADU goes down, the activity's over.
That's it. Okay. So you just take the
Bro, what
rewards. you
kind
got
of
for the-
loadout
And
is
in
this guy
Legend, that's on
using,
by
bro?
default.
Yeah, you don't lose any rewards.
don't like it.
Every set you complete, you'll get rewards.
Yeah.
But if you're halfway through a set and you fail,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it. Just take your lunchbox and go home.
Yeah, well, you can hop right back in the playlist.
That's
hop right.
with the Brave
Honestly,
Arsenal, which
I'd be
again,
more
we'll talk
happy
about
with
next week, don't you worry.
SRL.
But also too is just get a chance to go ahead and really see how they can thrive in environments.
26, 36,
Every
etc.
6 waves.
You will take the fight to the witness and
6,
have a
16,
cool little
26, I
encounter
guess.
that, you know, it feels like an action movie.
Yeah.
You and your team get to run down against
We're
waves.
just doing the same thing over and
against
over,
waves of
guys.
combatants, you know, in this hallway, and then there's an invincible warden at the end, and the only way to dispatch him and move on is you have to dunk in the wrist.
Palate cleanse.
Oh, and he
little,
pushed me.
little breather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get all the waves.
Also, too, actually, Jerome, from a lore standpoint, from a mechanic standpoint, obviously this helps, make sure that we're pushing forward in the activity and we've got an appropriate challenge. But why are the Guardians able to go ahead and even head back into these pyramid ships to go ahead?
Took us a long time to gain that power.
Yeah.
And
All right, guys, there's also a Twitch drop right now. Get rewards by watching Bungie play Destiny 2 Into the Light. So we're going to view details on that. Make sure your Twitch account is basically connected to your Destiny 2. Connect Twitch account with Destiny 2 to receive the reward. And you guys can see, we're going to go to the drops inventory page. You can get 2 emblems, Those Held Dear and Echo Diamond. We're going to check it out, how far we are. So we're 66% on Those Held Dear, and Echo Diamond, we're at 22%. So once those are filled, just claim it, and you guys should have your emblems. All right. Thank you all for watching.
We have another augment here where you are killing spark hoarders to spawn a spark, and when you dunk the rift, it actually does a chunk of damage to the boss, which if you're looking at the health bar at the bottom, you'll see it does a decent amount. So when you get to bosses that are a little chunkier, these are ways to do extra damage to them. Oh,
Jeez. Yeah, okay.
Great.
Not too shabby. I am also, I'll say it again, I'm so bitterly jealous I don't have Buried Bloodline right now. Like, you're making it look so good.
This guy's like
It's good.
obsessed
It's a
with
good
Buried
gun,
Bloodline now.
especially if you're on other subclasses. It's just free.
All right, we're out of stream veto moments, obviously. No,
that didn't
sorry,
happen.
but this
Homie
shame you have
just
to
got
live with.
wrecked.
That didn't happen.
Are you sure you want to hand out your Bungie ID still?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do
Okay,
it.
all right.
I don't back down.
I'll leave it to you on Twitter. That's fine.
I'll get cooked. It's fine.
Again, at our own peril, we underestimate. So is this the final boss encounter in the pyramid for this particular wave?
Yes, for this particular wave, I think we're on wave 30.
Yes.
Which means we're on our last wave, which is
Here we
take
go.
the fight to the boss
So it's
again.
definitely a little bit beefier than the last 2 bosses.
Yeah.
But we're going to
victory
dunk
lap.
and
This is-
kill it in one
Why
shot.
is this
Here we go.
thing so long? We're going to spend like 50 minutes
So
in
it also
this
too is
one area.
that dunking mechanic that does extra damage to the boss. That's just is that like a modifier that kind of gets randomly added with
There's
each
a new
particular
gun.
boss?
It's
That's
on
one of those
Jury.
augments, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
SR4
okay, cool.
kinetic.
So there's no guarantee you're going to get that one necessarily. Nope.
Destiny
Even
2
better.
just had an
Excellent.
update
All
as
right.
well, guys.
Guys, let's do the emote. No.
All right, let's keep running more waves. Also, too, actually,
Let's
I
keep
saw a
running
question
more
pop up in
waves.
Chat. Again, I apologize. I missed the name.
I thought
Twitch
it
chat.
was
some
Here's the
folks
lore
from
guy,
the
guys.
past,
That's right. Yeah.
and also opening up his private reserve
Interesting.
for our use.
Yeah.
So
So let's
is,
get it.
is this something Shax has been sitting on for a while, or the entire Destiny
Right,
development
guys.
team who behind the
That's
scenes
gonna
right
end it,
now
huh?
is working on this content, bringing it to life for all of us. Thank you all so much for your hard work. To Clayton and Ashley, our play testers in the back who went ahead and helped fill out the fire team. Getting some waves. There we go. Thank you very much. To the amazing team of producers who are here putting on the show, thank you all so much. Genuinely, it's amazing to have all of your assistants.
put my-
They have the distinct difficulty of making me look good on camera.
I'm
so
you
believe
now.
me, their work
No
is good out for
shit.
them. And to our team of moderators in chat, you're the real heroes. Thank you so much for your time. But in the meantime, again, reminder, we'll be back next week at the same time and place to show you even more content. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see y'all Starside.
Keep the stream on. Keep the stream on. Give me some watch time. I'm trying to get that emblem for you guys.